Hi, I'm Stacy Lanes Khalifa, and I'm here with the Expat View, and today I'm interviewing Marta Kapusta, who is an expatriate who lived in Holland and moved to Holland with her husband without children and started an empty nester group. And I'm going to let her talk to you a little bit about what is an empty nester group and what is an empty nester.
Okay, an empty nest is when your children leave the home, they become grown-ups, they leave the home, and your main role stops being a mother. So at that time the children are gone, and that's why it's empty, and you feel you have to redefine your life, because what you did before, it's going to change. It's not going to finish, it's going to be in a different way.
Right, okay, so maybe what you're talking about is that the way you connected to people as an expatriate in the past was through children, maybe play dates,
Exactly.
But when your children are no longer there, then your social connections are not as easy or not as well known as before. So you have to kind of switch gears.
Well, that's exactly what happened. I lived in the Netherlands for 7 years, and with my 3 children, and the center of my social network and all my work was at school. But once when I went back without the children, I realized that I did not have my main connection, and so where should I go?
So
where should I make the connections?
Mm-hmm. So what were the special challenges that you were facing coming back without children? Making connections with people?
Exactly. The funny thing was that for a very long time, you know, when you are with the children, you are too busy with the children and worry about schools and children, and you don't even have to think about yourself, what you have to do. This time going with my husband, I thought, wow, being in Europe, I can choose to do what I want. I have my friends, everything, you know, I know the place, I have been there. So it's going to be like a honeymoon, you know, yeah, I am going on vacation. But then when you are there and you see reality, you start missing your children. The place is not as pretty as you remember, and you have to start all over again.
So your expectations of going back on this honeymoon period with your husband were not met because you realized you had to start over and do something different.
That's right. There are different factors. There is a difference in age. I mean, when I was with them, I was at a certain age with all the energy and everything. And now we are facing the distance with the family. We are facing menopause. We are facing the midlife crisis. We are facing, you know, how do we communicate with our new adult children we didn't do before. And one of the biggest problem, I think, is when you live at different time zones. Mm-hmm. So if you include you trying to settle down into a new environment plus the emptiness issue, I said that's double the trouble. Mm-hmm. So the problem is that for many women it's very hard to overcome this anxiety and depression, and they cannot realize that all the bad sides of being an empty nester, it has also positive sides. So the thing is to channel all your energy into the positive ways and make this a big opportunity.
Right, so that's good advice actually you're giving, is that you're going to feel depressed and withdrawn and maybe anxious about the new situation because your children aren't there, and maybe your locus of control, your validation is not there. Often women are validated because they have children. They come home and they have children, and when they come home, they're coming home to an empty home with their husband's still at work. And so one of the things is to focus on those positive experiences that happen along the way to kind of get you through that difficult time.
Yes.
That's good.
And also one of the things is before you met your friends through your children, at this time you have the big opportunity to choose your friends that have the same, that they like to do the same things like you do, the wonderful rich environment where you are living. And then that's why a group of women support going through the same things are the strongest and cheapest way to solve your problem.
So talk to us a little bit about, you started an empty nesters group in Holland. So talk to us a little bit about starting the group. What were some of the challenges of starting that group?
Yes, I met with 3 old friends that we met the first time I was there, and we started asking who is around. So, just by curiosity and by trying to make friends, we said, well, maybe we can go back to the school and say that we are the parents from, former students. How will the school react?
Mhm.
So we created like a new generation of parents that have all the time free to help, all the energy, they want to make friends, they want to help each other. So slowly we started building a list of people. But the big challenge was that some women are afraid to go to a place where they don't know anyone,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they are going through a stage in life that is very difficult for them, and they think they are the only ones having this problem. But when we start getting together and talking about our issues, and when the kids come back home on a holiday, how do we handle this? And I have problems with my parents, and I have problems to find a doctor, and I feel so strange, and what's the hormones, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Then we attract each other, and so that starts making us happy. And we said, we don't have to talk all the time about the problems, let's find things together to do. So we start, going to museums together, having coffee, lunch, and things start getting brighter.